Artists with their music on the streaming platform Spotify are concerned about fake listens coming from bots. Now, this is probably something you've heard of before, and I have a lot of great videos on this channel about bots. But what you might not have heard of before is another thing that you need to be worried about that has the same negative effects as bots. They mess up your data in Spotify for Artists, they mess up your algorithm and your geography analytics, and it comes from a very strange place that you probably have not heard of or expected before. And I'm going to coin this term human robots, human bots. And it's when real humans like you and me are bribed to listen to your music or bribed to listen to a playlist on a third-party app that then ports streams over to your songs on Spotify. And it looks exactly the same as real bots because at the end of the day, it's just a computer adding numbers to your Spotify. And this is a huge concern. So in this video, I'm going to teach you the signs of what to look for, what to do if you think you're on a human bot playlist, and how to get off of it so that you can protect your music career and protect your music from getting taken down on Spotify. So let's discuss. Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Ryan from the Indie Music Academy, the channel where we uncover the mysteries of the music industry, learn how to grow a larger fan base, and earn an income from our music. And today I have a really interesting and kind of really scary video about a subscriber that emailed me pointing out some weird activity that was going on his Spotify. He sent over some screenshots. We were trying to get to the bottom of this, and we found something really surprising. It was something that I've never heard of before, talked anywhere on YouTube or anywhere else on the internet. And when we got to the bottom of this, when we uncovered what was really happening, there was no word for this. There was no definition. And so as you saw in the intro, I kind of made up this silly term for this called human bots, right? Human robots. And in a nutshell, as I just said, it's when real humans are not listening to your music on Spotify. They're listening to your music and getting bribed to engage through other means, through winning points or winning Amazon gift cards and really roundabout stuff like that. And at the end of the day, you'll see that the data gets all messed up. All of the streams are coming from one city, and it's not natural. It's not the natural thumbprint of a real listener. It's not the streaming activity that you want on your Spotify algorithm, because it just looks totally sketch. And I have great screenshots I'll pull up on the screen in a bit, but I just want to give you some background. I'm not going to show the emails. I definitely want to protect the identity of this subscriber because he came forward and was brave enough to share all of his personal music data with me. So I'm going to keep that secret, but I do want to show you the actual numbers, the actual screenshots of what happened. And I want you to just be prepared and to know what the numbers actually mean when you're looking at your Spotify data. And when you're using services like Submit Hub, which is how this individual got connected with this other individual, you know what to look out for. You know how to spot the scammers because using a platform that's neutral like Submit Hub is fine. But the individuals on the other end, you know, there's a range, and I'm not going to bash Submit Hub. I'm not going to bash any particular individual, but you know, every human has their own moral code. Every playlister out there has their own methods, and we're going to dive into one method that I think you should avoid. So without further ado, I'm not going to pull this up on the screen, but I have the email in front of me. And basically, this subscriber just reached out saying, hey, I would just appreciate your help by taking a look at these screenshots because I don't think that this playlist is good for my artistry. Basically, that's a paraphrase. And so what I can show you and what I'll pull up on the screen now are the screenshots that he sent me. So this was for his song Step by Step. So I want to point out that this is the one by Boxing It in Red. This is not his other song as we run. So as you can see on the algorithmic playlist section, he's not getting very many algorithmic streams from this, only 30. So We know that algorithmic plays and the algorithmic data is kind of like out of the equation for this. Now in the listener made playlist section, you can see that his song Step by Step got on a playlist called Fresh Hip Hop, and this song has gotten 593 streams from 476 listeners. And so just right off the bat, this is the song we're going to be focusing on, and you might think, hey, okay, we got some streams from a playlist, and maybe some artists would just kind of close the book on that and say, great, this playlist is working out. Well, luckily, this subscriber looked at some more analytics in his dashboard and some red flags started to appear. Now let's move on to the next screenshot with the same song, Step by Step. And if we analyze the data, we'll start to see some weird patterns. So looking over here at the listeners and the saves, we can calculate our save rate just by dividing the number under saves by the listeners. And when you do that, when you do 166 divided by 514, you get actually really high save rate, almost abnormally high. In fact, I'm going to go to say this is probably the biggest save rate I've ever seen. A 32.3% save rate with a playlist is so high that it's almost unbelievable. Now, if this song was getting streams in a different way and you had a large mailing list and you sent out an email to your large mailing list saying, hey, my new song is out, go ahead and stream it on Spotify and hit save, and you had that clear call to action, then this save rate might actually be true. This 32.3% save rate from an engaged fan base, from a mailing list, or from a VIP community like Patreon, right? Having a call to action with your most engaged fans to save your song can result in this. But from playlist listeners, from cold listeners who have never experienced your music before, this is a crazy high save rate. And so this is the first red flag. And now I wanted to validate this, right? Because maybe this is the best playlist in the world. Maybe this song is just a ridiculously good song. And maybe this is true, right? So I need to validate my theory that this save rate is high. So thankfully I have more screenshots, and in the next one you'll see same song, Step by Step. I want to look at the source of streams, because if this save rate was truly this high, well, that means that it would reflect in the other analytics in the Spotify dashboard. And what I'm seeing here is that the source of streams is actually missing data that I would expect from a save rate that is really high, right? Once you save a song, once you press that heart button next to the song, it goes into a section of Spotify called your saved songs. And it's a playlist, right? It's a playlist that's personal to you as the listener. As a user of Spotify, and you're probably this way too, I love to listen to my saved songs as a playlist. And this is normal activity from users on the Spotify platform, on the Spotify app. So if he's getting a save rate of 32%, that means people are clicking the heart button and his song is populating in their saved songs playlist. And that would normally reflect in increasing the percentage in the listener's own playlists and library category under source of streams. But here in his song Step by Step, which supposedly has a 32% save rate, has a big fat 0 in this category of streams. What this is telling me is that sure, he might be getting a save from somewhere, but it's probably not a save from someone who uses the Spotify app. It's not a save from someone who actually enjoys listening to their liked songs. In fact, 0 of those saves resulted in any streams from their liked songs playlist. Otherwise, if it were true, it would appear here in the analytics. So this is hugely sketchy, and I just wanted to double check to make sure that his other songs were getting streams from the listener's own playlist and library. And if I click over to another screenshot, this is his entire catalog analytics. You'll see right here that yes, he does have streams from listeners' own playlist and library. He's not just a bum artist that doesn't have fans. He does have fans. He does have streams in this category. But as we saw, if we're just going back to the beginning of these screenshots, his song Step by Step is not getting very much traction on the algorithmic playlist. But probably, this is just a total estimate, but 95% of his streams are coming from this one playlist, this Fresh Hip Hop playlist. And it's resulting in some weird stuff happening. With a 32% save rate, this number should not be 0. So this was my initial analysis once this subscriber sent me these screenshots. And basically our next step was like, well, what the heck is going on here? Let's get to the bottom of what's actually happening on this playlist. The one that's resulting in all these streams and basically messing up the data and creating weird patterns around his music. So the first thing we did to try and get to the bottom of this is just to simply ask this Spotify playlister, what is going on? What are your methods? How are these streams getting generated? And funny enough, this playlister was extremely transparent with what he was doing, and we didn't even have to dig that much to find out exactly what he was doing that was resulting in this weird activity. So here's the email that we got back, and basically the artist just straight up asked, are you using any bots or click farms to generate artificial streams on Spotify? And they replied, of course we're not. It's against Spotify's terms of service, right? Of course they said that. But then he went into the detail of what they're actually doing, and he goes to say the streams come from organic people which get rewarded by virtual in-system points if they listen to a song through our apps. They can redeem their points in exchange for gift cards, etc. It's a win-win situation both for the artist and client and the listeners. Okay, whoa, let's unpack that really quick, because it seems to me that these listeners are not even on the Spotify app. They're getting rewarded through a point system and getting paid out, basically bribed with Amazon gift cards in order to stream music on another app other than Spotify. Now, how are they actually liking songs? How are they racking up the stream counts if they're not even on the Spotify app? That's my first question. And second, what are the effects in the analytics? How is this going to affect this artist's long-term algorithm if he's getting streams in this fashion, right? These are not users that are individually logged into Spotify. These streams are somehow getting ported in from a third-party app, and that's weird, and that's concerning to me. So let's keep digging into this, because we found our answer once we went to the geography analytics within his artist dashboard. So check this out really quick. These are the top cities that he's getting listens from across his entire music catalog on Spotify, and there are two clear outliers. One top city is Boynton and the other is Chicago. And then there's a huge drop to the third city on the list, Minneapolis. There's 268, 208, and then 12. What the heck is up with that? What this is telling me is that there are some traffic sources, right? There's some streams of traffic that have a single geo point. A single city is dominating one entire stream of traffic. And in this case, as you saw from the earlier screenshots, his stream of traffic is not ads, it's not a mailing list, it's not anything else, it's a playlist. It's this weird playlist that he got on. And Boynton and Chicago, I mean, it's weird how they're so close together in number, and then there's such a huge drop. Now, here's where things get really sketchy. I went into Google and typed in Boynton to figure out what the heck that city is, because I've never heard of it before. And it turns out that Boynton is a really small city in Virginia that has a population of 303 people. Now, if he's figured out how to get the entire city of Boynton to fall in love with his track, then I need to take marketing lessons from him, because out of the 300 people in that city, he's got 268 people listening to his track right now. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And it turns out that Boynton actually has a huge data center. And this is where things get really weird for me. This is why I don't recommend playlisters that are generating their traffic in this fashion, because it turns out that this third-party app that they're bribing listeners to like and stream songs on for their artists, right, or for their playlists, it turns out that they're running all of that traffic, they're running all of that activity back to Spotify through a single data center in Boynton, and it looks really weird in the Spotify analytics. In fact, it's almost as if one computer server is artificially boosting his streams on Spotify. That sounds really familiar to me. That sounds like the thumbprint of bot streams on Spotify. Now, there's a lot more to the story that I just don't have time to unpack, like how this artist tried to get off of the playlist and they wouldn't do it, and he never even asked to get on this in the first place. They just did it out of the blue, and it was just a big process getting off the playlist because he didn't want that bot style traffic to his Spotify, right? He's trying to grow a fan base of real people, right? Ones that can join your email list, go down your fan journey, join your VIP Patreon, right? Buy your products, support you financially, right? Because we all know streams are never going to support a brand new artist financially. You have to be well established, right? It takes time to build up that stream of income. And so building your fan base with real people, getting your listens from real people, and not bribed people, right? Not doing this roundabout way of just getting engagement and getting those numbers up, right? It's hugely important to do this correctly. Before I sign off on this video really quick, I just want to say one more thing about this virtual reward system. It might be true that real people are listening to your song. It might be true that they have to actually press play with their mouse or with their thumb on a touch screen. And it might be technically true that you're getting real listens. But here's the thing about bribing your users for engagement. You guys have probably heard of the search engine Bing. It's a competitor to Google, and what Bing does, it's the same exact thing. What they do is they have their Bing rewards system where you can earn points when you use Bing. You earn points for reading news articles on the Bing News. You earn points for searches, and after a while, you can cash out an Amazon gift card. And what my wife does, it's super hilarious. She just goes and blazes through all of those Bing challenges. She clicks on all of the articles. She does a whole bunch of searches. She gets a whole bunch of tabs open because in the matter of a week or two, she can get an Amazon gift card and buy something that she wants. And she is using this virtual reward system to her advantage. But the funny thing is that for Bing, it doesn't actually create a real user, because when we actually have to look something up, we go to Google. I have not been converted to a Bing user, and my wife has not been converted to a Bing user either. Even though Bing is getting the engagement and it's probably driving up their market share, and they're showing to all their investors, look at all the users we have, look at all of the traffic we can generate for you. And I hope you're seeing the parallels to how ridiculous this is for Spotify streams as well. Bribing your users and having third-party apps and then having it ported through one random server so it hits the Spotify algorithm all from one place, just like a bot, is not the answer. So if you're a playlister out there, I want to challenge you to do better. And if you're an artist, I hope that this video was helpful to you so that you can understand how to read your analytics, you can understand this weird new category of bot streams on Spotify, and that you can operate on the Spotify platform safely and know how to grow your fan base the correct way. So if you need more help with this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss another video on this channel. And if this video was personally helpful to you, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button too, because that really helps the channel. Now, I have a couple of helpful things in the description below. One of them is my free music marketing workshop, where you get 3 videos on how to start marketing your music from scratch. It's kind of like music marketing 101 to give you the right mindsets and the right areas to focus on. And I just want you to know that I help artists just like you find legitimate Spotify playlists and get their music in those playlists to get a legitimate stream of traffic towards their music, and to do it safely so you can avoid these weird tactics, these scammy, kind of sketchy ways of going around the issue. I don't do that. I like to help artists get into real playlists that rank in the Spotify search results, that actually get real humans using the Spotify app discovering your music the right way. So if you need help with that, I also have a link in the description below where you can get started working with me, and there's some more information about that. So with that, thank you so much for watching to the end of this video, and I'll see you in a future video on my channel.